Hello and welcome to Peak Level Audio. Today we're going to be looking at mixing pop-punk guitar tracks. We're going to be looking at how we take excessive amounts of tracks, simplify them, and then blend the various guitar tones into one cohesive whole. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell to be notified when a new video comes up. All right, let's get to it. This is what the song sounds like. This is the static mix that we have going on, so it's just faders up.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday night.
All right, and this is what we have for guitars. We have a mono guitar track. We have another mono guitar track. Then we have a stereo pair. So what I've done here is I have simplified, so it looks something like this, and then you can just take your tracks, create a stereo track, and just drag them like that, and then you have your stereo pair. So we've made two tracks into one. That keeps our track count low, and it keeps things simplified. So here's what that sounds like. The next pair. So you may notice here that the AFG stereo 1 basically sounds like this. Or sorry, like this. And then AFG stereo 2, the mono track, basically sounds like this stereo pair. Then we have real guitar 1. And real guitar 2. Let's just turn that up. This is like a super tinny guitar. And so those are the guitar tones that we have. So the first thing that I did to simplify is I just muted the mono tracks, because the mono tracks are duplicating what our stereo pairs are doing. And we don't need that muddying up our stereo, our center. So we don't need those in the center taking away from the vocal. And we already have what we need coming out the left and right with our stereo pairs. So since these mono tracks are playing the same thing, just getting rid of them altogether is a simple, quick way to simplify our session and make things a little easier on ourselves. So the next thing that I did was I gave each track a listen. And that one this tone sounds fairly well rounded. It has some good low end, but it has some bite to it. This tone here, that's incredibly muddy. It's super low, so we don't need to use it for anything other than a little bit of support if we want. The next two tracks are the real guitars. And I don't know what amp was used. It sounds like they were recorded from a bit of a distance, and it sounds like a lower wattage amp, like maybe a 15 or 30 watt practice amp. Yeah, these are just all high end. So again, we're not going to lean on these. So what we're going to primarily use is our most well-rounded guitar tone. So that is going to be the basis for our guitar beds.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday night.
Right? And so once we have that done, we're now going to just blend in the other guitars as we see fit.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday night.
And you can hear if we crank that, it's like putting a wool blanket over everything. So we don't need that much. If we want it at all, we just want a little bit.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday night. Tears of self-neglect and
And if we mute it, we can hear that bottom disappear just a little bit. So it's there, it's supporting things, but it's definitely not overpowering our main guitar.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday.
And then next up, we want to blend in our high frequency guitars. And since these sound basically the same, we're going to group them and just bring them up together at the same level.
My satisfaction
And you can hear when we just season them in a little bit, it adds a little bit of high end, but it's not annoying, right? We're definitely not going to lean on these guitars to be our main guitars. And let's do a little A-B.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday night. Tears of
So when we unmute it, we can hear that it's just adding a little bit of kick, a little bit of bite. The guitars are cutting through a little bit more. And overall, without, before we've even looked at EQ, we've done a good job of taking, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've done a good job of taking 10 tracks of guitars and making it quick and easy to balance them. Without any EQ or compression, just with our faders to start. And that's really how we should start, dealing with excessive amounts of tracks, especially with guitars like this. We want to pick one to be our primary guitar, and then we look at the other rhythms and what they're doing. So this one is adding low end, so we just bring that in a little bit to give a little bit of support. And these two pairs are adding some high frequencies and some bite. And so we just want to bring those in and support our main, most well-rounded guitar. And that's it. So let's give it a quick listen all together.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday night.
And at this point now, we're ready to start our EQ, and we're ready to start our compression and go on from there. All right, so I hope this has been informative, and thanks for listening. Have a good one.
My satisfaction does not come from Friday.